Hey guys, what is up? I'm Alex from technoclass.com, and this is the Asus Transformer Book T100. This is a Windows 8.1 laptop powered by a brand new quad-core Atom processor Bay Trail. It's quite a lot faster than the old Atom, and it's much better in terms of battery life. Plus, it's a detachable tablet as well, so you have double functionality as a Windows 8 tablet and a Windows 8 laptop. It's very cool, very powerful performance and great battery life for only $23,995. So it's actually like the future of netbooks, or the future of computing, if you ask us. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at it right now. See you guys after the break. Boom! Alright, so did you get excited when we said it's going to be the future of computing or something? Well, yeah, we think it is. So it comes in this box, and it's actually hard to get it out of there, but we're just going to flip this over like this, and yeah, that's how you get it out of the box. You get a couple of paperwork stuff here. I can't show you this because it gives you like CD keys and stuff. Notebook PC user manual, warranty card, stuff like that. Here's a charger. And I believe you get a cable, but I didn't get a cable. This is a review unit, so we didn't get that. But yeah, it's a very simple box. Alright guys, so this is the Asus Transformer Book T100. As you can see right here, that's about the size of what you would think a laptop would be in this range. Although, if you compare it with, you know, the legacy netbooks of the past, netbooks would typically be very thick and have like thermal ports here and there and stuff like that. This is much thinner, and as you can see, this is the keyboard dock on the bottom, so you can actually separate the two. But this is not too thick, you know. This is still a laptop size. This is still actually still very thin for a laptop, and most bags will definitely fit this. This is a 10.1 inch sort of laptop that can, of course, transform into the tablet mode. So here's the underside. Looks pretty good and feels pretty good. I mean, it's lightweight. It's about 2.4 kilograms, I believe. That's not very heavy. I can hold it in one hand, no problem. Actually, you should be able to compute with one hand as well. But yeah, this is the tablet. Here is my hand, and you can see that's the size. Here's my 7-inch tablet, and you can see that there's the size right there. Let's open it up and actually look at the device right here, and there we go. So here is the laptop opened up, as you can see right there. It is connected on that hinge right there, and you can open it up like this and then angle it like this. It doesn't actually tip over, which is great. So as you can see right there, this thing only has the keyboard side. There is a version that has a 500 gigabyte hard drive on there, a spinning hard drive, I believe. But this one is a 64 gig version with the 64 gig all on the tablet. Now let's remove the tablet side first and look at that. This is the tablet side. Whoa, look at that lights. I'm going to try and not distract you with the lights. This is the 10.1 inch 1366 by 768 resolution IPS display. Actually, maybe we'll just turn that on right now. We are filming this this review in a very, very bright studio. Well, not studio, but we have a bright light, so we should. I apologize. There. Wow, it's already booted up. I haven't even started talking yet, but let me just turn that display off. So 1366 by 768, not the highest resolution display out there, but it's great for this price of $23,995. Let's look at the Asus logo over there. There's a Start logo. There's like a Windows logo over there, but that's not actually a button. It's just a little bit of a logo. Bezels right here, not too thin, but acceptable, especially if you're thinking laptop size. Over on the left side, there is a couple of buttons here. There is a volume rocker, and this is the actual start button. This is the start button. You can press it when you're using it as a tablet. Over on top, we have the power and unlock key, is what I guess you would call it if it were smartphone or a tablet. But yeah, you unlock the tablet by pressing this, as you can see right there. Okay, on the right side we have a micro SD card slot to expand the storage. Over here we have the micro USB port for charging. This is a micro HDMI port for output as well, so you can show your presentations, especially since this is a Windows 8.1 device. You can run PowerPoint here. This actually has Microsoft Office pre-installed. Let's talk about that later. This is the 3.5mm headphone jack as well. Alright, over on the bottom side here, this is the no man's land. You're not supposed to touch this. This is where the tablet meets the keyboard dock. So as you can see, if we just line this up, you're not gonna fail if you just misalign it. It'll actually just click in there, and it'll a very solid click, and then very solid unclick if you wanted to. Most people will be worried about the reliability or even the durability of this hinge right here, but Asus has been proven to have pretty good experience with this kind of transformer removable tablet thing, and so far this dock looks like it's pretty solid and doesn't look like it would break anytime soon. But yeah, that is the connection port for that keyboard. Over on the back here, this is the most of the back right here. As you can see, it's sort of a smooth glossy plastic with some speakers right there. I don't know if you see the speakers. There we go. Look at that. A little bit of a super small pinholes for speakers, but it is stereo speakers on the back, and those are Sonic Master improved, and those speakers are actually good. There's Asus logo on the middle here, and actually this looks pretty good in certain lighting and very shiny-ish. But I would really prefer if they came up with a nice black matte version. That would be cool. But that is the tablet side. It actually looks pretty good. It's pretty handy. Not the best looking tab. If you're going to compare it with like a classy, like high expensive Android or iOS tablet, you might not go wow. But this is a very nice Windows 8 tablet. But yeah, that is the tablet side. Let's check out the dock really quickly. Here is the aforementioned Asus Transformer Book T100 keyboard dock. Keyboard feels pretty good. Tactile feedback. As you can see, there's a nice click, nice audible clicks, very nice spacing in between. As you can see, let me just type the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. There you go. So it's not the biggest keyboard out there, but it's about the size of most netbook keyboards, probably much more comfortable than my old netbook keyboard. And here is the touchpad over on the bottom. Now, the touchpad is definitely a little bit too small, much too smaller than what we would like, but you do get used to it. But we do recommend getting a mouse as well to improve your experience. You can. The problem is if you're swiping like this, you might hit the edge, and the edge will actually make for some gestures that you might not have intended to happen. So that's pretty much it for the keyboard, except for the USB 3.0 full-size USB 3.0 port over here. So you can connect high-speed USB 3.0 devices, which is great. So not only do you probably have a 500 gig hard drive here, you can probably plug in a pretty big hard drive as well to improve your storage. So maybe if you have a external hard drive, you may even prefer the 64 gig version of this, which is what we have right here. So that's it for the keyboard dock. Let's move on. Alright, so as for the overall design, this is a very nice looking notebook, and something that people will not complain having. It's really nice looking, very lightweight, not very thick, and nice shiny parts right here, everywhere. Some people might like your, much thinner aluminum, more sexier materials, but those definitely come at a cost. And at this price range, this kind of glossy plastic is okay, and this, as you can see on the bottom, slightly more matte plastic is okay as well. Build quality is what we need, and that is definitely what the Asus Transformer Book T100 does. Though it's pretty fingerprint magnety. I admit. Alright, so looking quickly, really quickly at the display right here, this is as I've mentioned before, 10.1 inch, 1366 by 768 IPS display, and it looks, oh, I just activated camera. I don't want you to see me. I'm just gonna close that, unlock. 1366 by 768 IPS display, and the viewing angles are pretty good. Not the best. The brightness is not super high, but as you can see, even with this bright light that we have on the background, it handles fine and it looks pretty good. Not the highest resolution either. For example, this Asus tablet right here is full HD. This is 1366 by 768. But like I said, this is it for the price. This is one of the better options you can get for $23,895. And for Windows 8 OS, the text actually looks very readable and much better, because if you have a higher resolution display, the text does not scale and you will have a hard time reading it. But yeah, that is the display. It's a bit glossy though, so you get fingerprints. But yeah, that's it. Let's move on and talk about the new Windows 8.1 interface it has. Alright guys, here we are checking out the interface of the Asus Transformer Book T100. And this is running Windows 8.1. If you're not familiar with Windows 8 or Windows 8.1, it's basically a new Windows OS that is both touchscreen and has a desktop. So first of all, you just to unlock it, you just swipe up. If you have to enter a password, you have to enter a password. This is the modern UI, formerly the Metro UI. It's a bunch of live icons, live tiles is what they call it. A bunch of apps right here. These are the modern apps. So as you can see, there are a bunch of modern apps. There is a Facebook app that is actually very good, and I prefer this one to the to going to the web browser, which is one of the better features of the new app-based Windows 8.1. But yeah, this is sort of a different layer of apps and interface that is best for touchscreen, because most of the apps have large icons for your fingers or have good swipe gestures and stuff like that. But if you want to run your old Windows 7 and whatever desktop and legacy apps, you can go to the desktop icon right here by going like this. Now this is your traditional Windows experience with the notification bar on the notification bar on the bottom and some pinned stuff over here. Here's your desktop, here's your wallpaper and stuff like that. Very, very traditional. You can even open your Google Chromes and then launch your stuffs from there. Very, very easy. There is the new start button right here from, this is part of the Windows 8.1 update, but this just gives you the Metro start. I'm sorry, there your Metro, it's a modern start button, and gives you back here. You can go to the all apps by going like this, swiping, stuff like that. Very, very smooth, very, very user-friendly. Now, this is probably, I'm not going to cover all of the features of Windows 8.1 because that's going to take a while. But some of the features that I like is the new split screen. Well, this was introduced before, but for example, I do a split screen right here, and then I press the start button, and I open Twitter. I like that I can slide the Twitter app over on the right side and read my tweets while while reading Facebook stuff and replying to Facebook stuff and stuff like that. This effectively gives you a dual screen setup. Now you can also use a YouTube application here, but there's no official YouTube app. There's some third-party YouTube apps which work pretty good, but it's not official anyway. So as you can see, as you saw right there, I swiped down to close the apps. That's how you do it, and that's pretty much basically what the new Windows 8.1 OS does. And over on the desktop mode, everything works like your typical Windows desktop, like you had a mouse. If you're running on the tablet mode, of course, you have the on-screen keyboard. Let me just click that. I'm terrible at touching the stuff. Here is your on-screen keyboard. That works pretty good. And the thing I like is the handwriting is actually pretty good as well. Hello. Let's try and get that. Maybe that works. Yeah, there you go. Hello. So it actually has a pretty good handwriting recognition. Not 100% reliable, but I like that it's there to, for example, when I need to write stuff, and yeah, it helps a lot. So that is the Windows 8.1 interface, and I think the Asus Transformer Book T100 is the best way to experience, the best way to get introduced to this OS because of the hybrid touch and laptop experience. Alright, so what you might have noticed that I've done is that I've launched a couple of apps, I've swiped around, and the interface is very smooth. So let's see, let's launch this Facebook app, let's switch over to the desktop, let's press the start button, let's launch the Twitter app, swipe, change the apps, change the apps, you know, close that app, and then open up the Metro app, and then close that one, and then open up Internet Explorer, and you know, close that one. Start, big desktop, you know, then SkyDrive, weather, whatever, mail. I'm not going to click that because you're going to see my email. And then there's the Skype apps and stuff like that. Very, very smooth interface, and almost, you know, lag-free. I would say there's no lag. And this is an amazing experience for something that runs on Windows. Even my Windows desktop, I mean, my main laptop PC is not as smooth as this, and I wish it was as fast as this when launching apps. But yeah, it's very fast. I guess it's because of the 64 gig solid state drive, eMMC drive, that is in there launching the apps. But yeah, that's pretty good. Like I said before, the processor is a 1.33 gigahertz quad-core Bay Trail Atom processor Z3740 with Intel HD graphics, which is pretty good. And the Bay Trail architecture gives you much better performance, like almost twice is my experience, well, and almost twice battery life, which we'll talk about later. So finally, the last part about the interface, I guess, is talking about the modern apps store. There's not a lot of modern apps. There's a few, and there are a bunch of games like Asphalt 8. Thankfully, Asphalt 8 is now free. For the full version is now free. That's great. But most of the apps are paid. Some are free, like Facebook and Twitter. Those are great. The Facebook and Twitter apps are amazing. Even the MetroTube one, the one I use for YouTube, is great because you can have a split screen. It does format really well in the split screen mode. And there you go. What you can do is, though, if you have something like you can split screen your desktop app and a modern app, so you can use pretty much any app and then split screen that, which is amazing because that's just great for productivity. Of course, that's a feature for Windows 8 and not technically the Transformer Pad T100. So we're gonna leave it at that. Alright guys, so here we are. Speaking of Windows 8 apps and the speakers, you can hear the speakers going on right now, and you can look at the app running right now, right here. This is Asphalt 8 Airborne, and it's a pretty graphics intensive game, as you can see right here. And on Android devices and iOS, this is a pretty good looking game, and this is a pretty good looking game on the T100 as well, as you can see right here. Great. And it's actually running pretty good, considering the fact this is technically, what do you call this, a netbook type processor. To get something like this running on that seems like it's very, very promising for games, and definitely something to look out for, especially when you're looking at, you know, tablet gaming. Especially, we know that iOS and maybe Android has, let's just crash over there. iOS and Android may have more games to choose from, but at least a couple of Gameloft games have been available on Windows 8. And this, as you just close it like that. And you can still, I'm saying, basically you have that gaming capability, plus you can have a full Windows 8 experience. And of course, you can run traditional Windows games. And as you can see, I've installed Steam here. I got a bunch of games. I got League of Legends, I got Dota 2, I got Counter-Strike, and I have most of the frame rates on those games are actually quite playable. Most specifically for League of Legends, I was able to play that without a lot of lag. Technically, the frame rate was about over 30 FPS. Didn't go above 50 or something like that, but it was super duper playable, and there was no spikes of lag because of the eMMC drive. Now now gaming on it might not be as good because, of course, that is just a very small screen, so you have to put it next to your face just so you can read some text. But gaming is still possible. The processor is still capable enough, powerful enough. It's about the same power as, like, I believe last generation's i3 processor or the first generation's i3 processor. And to handle games like that is truly impressive for a processor like this. And yeah, much props to the Asus guys for coming up with a tablet doesn't even have vents on the side that can run those games. Lastly, there are also some Windows 8 games that you don't need a mouse for, that you can also run. You can just tap on the on-screen button. That's really funny to do and really nice, so you can actually still run your Steam games or whatever in the bathroom or whatever, on the bus or whatever you want, wherever you want, on the net, on a coffee shop or whatever. Extremely versatile. That's really what it's going for. So yeah, that is the gaming functionalities of the Asus Transformer Book. Keep saying pad. Transformer Book T100. Now lastly, and possibly one of the most amazing value for money propositions that the Asus Transformer Book T100 gives you is the free pre-installed Microsoft Office. Now this is usually like a very expensive software upgrade, but this comes pre-installed for free, full version on the Transformer Book. So that's really good, and a much like it improves on the value of the laptop tablet thing quite a bit. As far as the camera goes, it's pretty standard fare. There's no camera on the back. There's a 1.2 megapixel on front, so you can make your Skype calls and stuff. And here's my hand that's shaking right there. There's my ceiling. You can take a picture. Pretty standard stuff. Although you do, there is a feature to like pick the best shot in the quick burst that it does take. Pretty standard stuff. Looks quality is okay for video conferencing, and we have used this on Hangouts. It does work, and it's pretty good looking. All right, guys. So I think that's about it for this guy. This is the like I said, this is the Transformer Book T100, and we really think this is going to be the future of computing. Everybody's going to be walking around with a Windows or a desk, some sort of personal computing tablet with full functionality, with all your Windows apps and stuff like that, with some sort of productivity dock like this guy, where you can plug it into a keyboard, type all your stuff out, plug it out, use it like a tablet, whatever. So that's just where technology is going, and this is where laptops will be going eventually, is what we think, because nobody wants to log in. Like a big laptop, you can't use it without a table. So this is where computing is going to take us from now on. That's really what we think it's where we think it's going to go. Now, as far as who we would recommend this to, this is probably perfect for college students, or probably even high school students. This is extremely cheap, 24,000 pesos. This is just the netbook price territory, and you're getting gangbusters performance with, you know, even Microsoft Office. You don't have to buy Microsoft Office anymore. This comes free. And obviously high school kids or even college students will also want a tablet. You just unplug this and wow, you have a tablet. Great. No problem there. Wonderful. So it's like 2-in-1. It really literally is 2-in-1, and you can keep all your files, and you know, all your productivity apps is there. Sure, you don't have a lot of the games from Android and iOS, but you can still type. You can have your Word, your PowerPoint, and a lot of the Windows games that the other OSs don't have. So like I said, it's a perfect computer and tablet, and for students and portable work. So this is still also a very good suggestion. You know, I highly suggest getting this one, for example, for mobile professionals. Really, For if you travel a lot, you want the extended battery life, and this guy has a pretty good battery life. In our experience, we couldn't have it drain in just one sitting, so it does get maybe 10 hours, maybe 9 hours or so. Before this guy, most netbooks, most laptops had no chance of making up to 5 hours of battery life. This guy gets more than that and almost competes with, you know, Android and iOS tablets. So that is also one of its great features, the battery life. Now, I do want to say that the battery charging via the micro USB port is a little bit slower than having one of those proprietary plugs, but also the advantage here is you can plug any micro USB charger and it's going to charge. Alright guys, so let's move on to the pros and cons. Like I said, this has really good performance, very smooth interface. This is not like your Atom processors of old. This is the brand new Atom processor and it kicks a lot of okay. So battery life is really good. You know, if you got to 8 hours, you'd be very happy, but I guarantee you will get more than 8 hours with this guy, unless you're, you know, hardcore gaming. Best of both worlds, productivity laptop and handy versatile tablet you can take around. You don't need a desk, you can just use your tablet. You have a software keyboard over there, which is really good. Number 4 pro is that there's free Microsoft Office. You don't have to buy Microsoft Office anymore, and you have a full version of Microsoft Office right there. That's really good. And basically, this is pretty much the handheld Windows computer we've always wanted. This is like when we were kids, we wanted, oh, I wanted a PC that we can take anywhere. This is it. This is what we wanted all along. Now we're moving on to the cons. To be honest, there's really no con at this price because it's super cheap. However, there is, if you're not looking for Windows functionality, it is outclassed by iOS and Android devices, but that's to be expected. Also, screen, touchpad, and build could be improved. So those are just pretty much all we can say about that. So alright, that's about it for the Asus Transformer Book T100. We really think it's a really good, much highly recommended computer and a tablet in one for a really good price. And if you are in the market for at least a netbook or a nice little laptop you can do your word processing in, and then as a bonus you might get a tablet, this is the guy for you. It's lightweight, it's thin, and packs a punch. That is the Asus Transformer Book T100. We're gonna give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Really good thing, a really good tablet laptop thing, and this will usher in the new era of computing, and it's here right now. So that's the Asus Transformer Book T100. I'm Alex from technoclass.com. Look at all those fingerprints. I hope this comes in black sometime, one day. See you guys next time. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and as always, if you liked the video, please press the like button below. Add it to your favorites and or share it to your friends. If you got something to say, drop a comment in the comment box as well. Of course, more importantly, you should hit the subscribe button on top. This will keep you up to date with our new uploads and helps us out tremendously too. That's it guys, see you next video.
Guys, don't forget to watch the Big Time Show.